1-800-700-5105.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome once again to the Playmaker Spotlight, the part of Get Down to Business where we speak to CEOs and business owners and share their stories and best practices with you. Playmakers is brought to you in part by Vistage, the world's largest CEO advisory organization, and I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO business coach, and I'm an award-winning chair for Vistage International. Tonight, I'm very pleased to have with us as our guest, A.J. Melarongo. I got that right.
You do?
I did. Good. President of Singola Consulting. They're headquartered in Chicago. Let me read from their website. Singola Consulting was founded on the basic principle that the patient should be at the center of every decision made by a healthcare organization. Singola means single. Singola promotes a single integrated experience for patients, physicians, and caregivers. Singola is intimately aware of the challenges that healthcare executives face today, putting the right information, people, process, and technology in place to deliver a great customer experience. Singola focuses on helping their clients to improve 4 core areas: improve people, improve process, technology, and measurements. So again tonight, pleased to have you, AJ.
Thank you, Dick. Thanks for inviting me.
President of Singola Consulting. Boy, that's a big job. So tell me a little bit about how the heck did you get that job, the CNN version?
Well, I've been in healthcare for 15 years. 11 of those years was I was an executive at North Shore University Health System here in Chicago. And just towards the end, thought that I could put together a team and go out and share a lot of the things that we learned on the job at North Shore. But was a little risk adverse, so I worked with a company called ShareCare, and I had the opportunity to work directly for Dr. Oz and Oprah Winfrey in rolling out a product of theirs. And as I did that, I had the opportunity to travel the country and work with other healthcare organizations, and quickly realized, boy, we could do some incredible things with these organizations and make an impact, and thus created Singola, which, as you mentioned, means single in Italian. And the way that we approach it is creating that single experience every single time for the patients, their caregivers, and the physicians for the organizations.
Yeah, well, as one at age near 65, I've navigated the healthcare system, right, my wife and I, too many times, and we don't want to talk about those horror stories.
Exactly.
So how long ago was this? And you tell us about a partner that you have.
Right. We founded the company about 4 years ago. My partner, Fran Horner, and I, who we worked together at North Shore and had the opportunity to create a large-scale contact center there. We founded Singola, and we have 12 employees today located here in Chicago, but we work with about 20 to 30 different contractors when we bring in subject matter experts to help in really looking at the overall engagement of the patients within the healthcare systems.
Okay, when you say engagement, these are through call centers mostly for these healthcare facilities?
The term has really changed from maybe 5-6 years ago, where they all used to be called call centers. Now they're more of these omni-channel contact centers.
Oh, okay.
And what that means is really having the ability to interact with patients the way that they want to interact with us. So if they want to text, or if they want to chat live, or if they want a phone, we can do all of that. And we're able to create these environments within these large, complicated health systems that allow for that interaction. And then truly now you're engaging and being proactive with the patients versus waiting for something to go wrong.
So millennials are texting, and old people like me are picking up the phone and calling to talk to a body.
You'd be surprised how many. Well, since you said it, older generation will use text and online portals.
Yeah, my 93-year-old mother was texting before she passed away. God bless her. I can only aspire to be as technical as she. Anywho. Let me get back to my notes. Where were we? So what's your typical customer profile look like, and are these people all over the continental United States? Where are they?
Well, they are national, and they're large healthcare systems, systems like Children's Health System of Texas. We've worked with Rochester Regional Health System in New York, Mount Sinai. And really our focus or our target are these large integrated health systems with multiple locations. They have or are recently implementing the electronic medical record. And this now allows us to start to centralize a lot of the interactions that the organizations are having with their customers or their patients. Whereas before, a lot of the scheduling, for example, or maybe even the billing, as you know, experience in healthcare, you'd have to call multiple numbers for that. And,
sure.
and it becomes very complicated, confusing, and sometimes scary.
Absolutely. Say, if you're just tuning in, this is the Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight, brought to you in part by Vistage International, the world's largest CEO and business owner private advisory board organization. And we're talking to AJ Melarongo, who's president of Singola Consulting. AJ, you're primarily serving the healthcare industry, or almost exclusively, and therefore one of the fastest growing and changing business sectors out there, of course, which is, and also one of the most highly regulated, and whatever, but especially in the light of the Obamacare Affordable Care Act. Tell us what part does change play in your industry, and how the heck are you managing change in business? Our listeners will want to hear that.
Sure. I think the biggest change on our end is how healthcare organizations are now looking at ways to more efficiently and effectively care for their patients. The days of let's get them in here and let's care for them as often as possible are over. We have to do it right one time and look for ways that we can engage the patient and have them play an active role in their care. The days of the patient portals now, where you can actively go in and see your medical records. Think back 10 years ago.
Well, you couldn't do that.
You have no idea what's in your medical chart.
Right.
So now having them making sure that the information that's in your medical record is accurate, and we can act on it is really what the biggest change has been over the last couple of years.
And that's one of the greatest, I think, that information sharing, as well as if you haven't been in a hospital in 10 or 15 years, the competitive nature of hospital organizations, healthcare facilities in general has just gone through the roof for patients, right?
Well, your competitor is a click away nowadays. You are searching online and you're doing a comparison, much like you do with an automobile.
Yeah, it used to be that you were happy they took you if you were in need of services. Now they're all competing for you.
That's right.
Good for you. So what's your forecast or vision for this industry? I mean, it's so fast changing. Can you even look out 3 to 5 years, or you got to hold back and maybe a year to 3?
Well, I think 3 to 5 years is realistic. I think the continuation of centralization of a lot of the activities within these large healthcare organizations is key. You can gain efficiencies. You can truly have an understanding of what's happening within your organization, as opposed to going to the individual hospital locations. And I think from our perspective, we're looking to take a lot of what we have learned and more. I'll go out on the limb and say creating regional contact centers, because some of these healthcare systems cannot afford to create their own individual call center. But are they willing to share that across multiple organizations? And we predict the answer is yes to that.
So tell me a little bit about, you've got the CVS PopUp Doc in a Box from Walgreens, obviously those big, huge, mega billion-dollar world largest conglomerates getting in your way in the hospitals. We're taking their share. How's that playing out for you guys?
They actually work very well for us, because what it's doing is they are taking something that we all think is very complicated and really streamlining it. And I have had great experience in some cases going to those pop-up clinics, and I don't do it on a regular basis, but if I need to, and it actually gives us insight into how to do this as effectively and efficiently as possible. And it really puts the pressure on these large systems to say, you can no longer be as complicated and difficult to work with. Okay.
Nearing the end, one of my final questions here. If somebody was looking to get in healthcare, would you be a kind of an organization that's looking for a particular individual? And what are you looking for in your people, in your culture?
Our biggest differentiator, I think, at Singola, from what our clients have told us, is that everyone that we bring into our organization has done it before. We compete against large consulting firms, and time again, we are awarded the business simply because we can sit across the table from executives and say, you know what, I've been in your seat before, and I understand some of these struggles. Gotcha.
Well, we're just about out of time, but I'd like to thank our guest, AJ Melarongo of Singola Consulting, for being with us again. AJ, a wonderful success story. Good luck and continued luck with you and your partner. And our audience members can hear more about you by going to www.singolaconsulting.com, right? Okay. All right, thanks again, AJ. This has been the Playmaker Spotlight with Dick Smith, your host, the CEO, business coach, and award-winning chair for Vistage International. Look me up at LinkedIn or dick.smith@vistage.com. Back to get down to business.
Moderate